everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? Welcome back. It is Monday, April 21st, day after Easter, day after 420. Markets are for sure blazing hot to the downside, and hence we got the room colored in the red color. As you can see, I'm also wearing the most red jersey that I could find today. To celebrate the red day on the market. What a crazy day again. I mean, the heat map I was looking at one point, it was just a big red everywhere, red sea, I guess you could say. Beside one thing, and Netflix was the only thing that was basically green today for the most part. At least on the heat map, there were other stocks in other sectors, DFS for example. But overall, boy oh boy, so much bleeding across the board. So clearly, still weakness, still uncertainty. Still not sure how the tariffs are gonna play out. I actually thought the tariffs were somewhat going into a better direction, right? We thought that. Over the weekend, we saw that Trump and China were having some conversations, and maybe that didn't really go anywhere. We didn't really get anything concrete, I guess, and that was the reason why market taking a little bit of a dump over here on a Monday. Pretty big downside. Nvidia, Tesla. Tesla started because of a downgrade, but still Tesla, Amazon. I mean, QQQ was down about 3% today or something. UNH as a day two, another big downside. So tons of opportunities across the board if you were willing to wake up and take advantage of it, which I was not willing to do. So I actually got ready, was getting ready to go to work, and I realized there was no way for me to get into work today. And it was because public transit, it's Easter holiday over here in Canada. Public transit's not really working today, at least the full direction that I need to go towards. So decided to just stay from home and trade from home. Slept in a little bit longer, and got some good shut eye. But when I did wake up, I saw some trades that I liked, and tried to capitalize using those trades. And sadly, not too much follow through on them. One of them being the short on Tesla over here. Scalping my way to the downside and looking to add on the lower day breakdown for a bigger move down, but that didn't really have any follow through. Try to Nvidia lower day breakdown, that didn't have any follow through. Lost on that pretty much. Then UNH tried to do what I did with this one, basically with Tesla. But you can see how this one didn't have much follow through either, so I got stopped out. Later on, rejected from VWAP and pushed right back into lower day and basically double bottomed when the market double bottomed. And then last but not least, Amazon, very similar to Nvidia, looking to take the lower day breakdown and just didn't have too much momentum in the market kind of, I guess, said that's enough for it, we're not really going to break down anymore. 430 was a big put level on the options book. So staying under 430 on the QQQ, I figured it potentially could have another go at the short side. It tried to, and you can see how I tried to really pile into this trade after getting stopped out. I tried to get piled back into this trade, but not much follow through, sadly. And losing on this one too. So it's a little bit of a red day today, only losing about 0.5 of my usual risk units. So not too big of a red day, but that does mean that our month is now completely wiped out, because last Thursday I lost quite a bit. Last Thursday I lost like 2 risk units. Today I lost 0.5 risk units. So overall got beat up, and we're now back to being flat on the month. Not fun, but at least better than being red on the month. And we still got earnings coming up. Very, very big action pack earnings season this week. So lots of opportunities to make money. And with the given current volatility and given the current ranges some of these stocks are having, we're gonna have tons of opportunities to make money. Just gotta be patient and not make bad decisions, right? Can't let one day's bad day or 2 days bad day in my case spiral you into a third day's bad day. Let's take a quick look at, here's the earnings board for the week ahead. Nothing really too exciting from the pre-market board or the pre-market side or the after hours tonight. But tomorrow we got a couple names in the defense sector: RTX, Lockheed Martin, GE Aerospace. A couple names over there in the defense sector. Boeing reporting tomorrow. Wednesday pre-market. Halliburton, an oil name over there in the pre-market tomorrow. Tesla after hours, that's a big name, obviously. STLD, Steel Dynamics, Enphase, Intuitive Surgical, that's a different one. I thought that was Intuitive. What was it? Ludar Technologies. I think that was Intuitive too, right? But no, this is a medical company, I guess. Intuitive Surgical. Not as important to me, but still a name possible to keep an eye on if it does have a good trade opportunity. But for tonight, basically we're going to go through some of the names that are already moving from over the day, or because they were moving from last week and so on. We're going to take a look at some of the semiconductor sectors, because that's been a little bit weak today, especially starting with Nvidia. And then last but not least, we're going to take a look at if any stocks actually moved off of earnings report. Why don't we start with that using our good friends at CNBC real quick. So this is a CNBC report that comes out after hours, usually during earnings season. After earnings season kind of dies out, they don't really post this, but good to see that they got this oh my god, what the hell is my mom cooking? They're good to see that this is coming back to reports to read again. BOK Financial slid 3%. Not sure I care about that. Zion Bancorp dropped 6%, reporting earnings weaker than expected earnings per share. Okay, maybe. I'm not sure I really care about that too much. MongoDB shares retreat 2% after the developers data platform said. So the CEO, developer data platform, said interim CFO is resigning. I don't think that matters too much. So CFO resigning, stock drops by 2% off of that news. Okay. Western Alliance Bancorp reported falls by 2% along with its other partners in crime, I guess. MedSpace Holding shares of clinical research organization slid 6%. Net new businesses in the first quarter. What is this? Another bank, or is this like a medical holdings company of some sorts? Not sure if this one even has volume for me to take a look at. Overall, that list was a nothing burger for us, sadly. But we do have some of these names over here that I already know are bangers to take a look at for our watch list. So starting with, let me actually bring in this screen over here. And let's start making the watch list for tomorrow. I'm going to put HTZ, BULL, put in some semiconductors, so AVGO, Micron, that was a weak one. So I want to already take a look at the semiconductors that was already weak, along with the ones that were moving to the downside today also. So the NVIDIA, AMD. Then after that we got META down 3% after Scotiabank lowered its price target, but I kind of want to take a look at Meta at the same time as I take a look at all the large caps and so on, so I'll leave some space for that. AAL down 4% as airline stocks fell amid recession concerns. Not too sure if I want to really care about shorting AAL near $9 and $10. I'm pretty sure AAL is back into those prices, and it's gonna have a lot of buying in this area. So unless you really get a pop and the pop is giving you 3-4 cent risk, then maybe you can short this one. But yeah, I'm not too keen on getting overly excited for a short side on AAL. Maybe some of the other ones, DAL, UAL, could be something to keep an eye out for, but they've just reported recently, if I remember correctly. UAL reported recently and had a decent report. Its PE is also very low, so when it comes to these names, I try not to get overly bearish on them. These are prices that investors are foaming out of their mouth to snag up some shares, so just kind of ignoring AAL over there. UNH is for sure something to keep an eye on. That one moved to the downside, had a nice day 2 opportunity, so for sure keeping an eye on UNH. BX down 7% as headlines around reduced China capital flows into US private equity weighed on the stock. So what is BX? Is BX a China name? Finance. Okay, what is BX? Blackstone. Oh, because I guess Blackstone has Chinese exposure. I guess that makes sense. So BX taking a little bit of a move to the downside. Blackstone, because of their investments and possible exposure to China, maybe in stocks like Baba, Pinduoduo, and so on. Let's put those ones actually in the watch list real quick. Baba, Pinduoduo, Baidu, FXI. The next few stocks I might want to throw in there. BX, didn't really see anything special about BX, but we'll throw that in the watch list. Why not? So Blackstone, I'll throw this in there just in case if it does have some probability to go to the downside because of their exposure to China. MP. This one I thought should have a really good move to the upside again, but no, monster move to the downside today, giving you a good opportunity to get short. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this whole catalyst plays out. The rare earth minerals catalyst, another one to keep an eye out for. That one was down 9 12% at one point, I think. But overall down 9% at the point of close today. So these rare earth mineral stocks are for sure something to keep an eye out for, but I'm not really sure how to play them at the moment. It's just something to watch, something to see if there are patterns on the 5 minute, on the hourly, on the daily that could kind of align up and give you a trade idea. So I'm not really going to put them on the list right now, but I'll throw them in my list later on to not forget about them. GLD says TH, so yes, I can't forget about GLD. GLD has been going a little crazy at the moment, so obviously GLD, other names in the GLD sector, maybe the miners, so AEMGFI, GOLD, which is Barrick Gold themselves, I think. So taking a look at some of these gold miners, which are, that's not the one, GOLD on New York. Taking a look at some of these gold miners, I'm pretty sure this one's Canadian also. Is AEM, Agenico, Eagles Mine, Eagles Mine. I'm just gonna say that. That's one to keep an eye out for. GFI is a good one to keep an eye out for, and you can just take a look at the ETF itself if you're interested. I was taking a look at GLD for a short below 302.77, but yeah, this is going into crazy territories. I don't know if it's extended yet or not, but it's for sure kind of going crazy to the point where, you know, it might be worth taking a look at this one to the short side if the market can or the stock and the ETF can give you some sort of a short opportunity in that realm. But right now it's just, you know, going crazy. I know you said something about Bitcoin, so that means MicroStrategy, IBIT, COIN. Usually I do it this way, so I'll just throw it there. Palantir, something to keep an eye out for always. VST, that's the same AI basket, so I guess you can throw in VST also, down 7% after Amazon halted some of their data center leasing talks according to Reuters. So wow, that's a pretty much a pop in the bubble of the AI right there in the AI sector. I guess that's why Amazon and Nvidia went down quite a bit today. I'm tired. Went down quite a bit today, and you can see how VST was taking damage from off that catalyst. Also, CRWV down 9% as AI related stocks selling pressure. That's a new IPO. Also, CRWV. I'm not really sure I care about this one too much because of its liquidity. It's like very illiquid name, but you know, it's now going to a new all-time low. If volume picks back up, maybe I'll think about paying for some shorts and then look for a move to the downside as the sector, apparently the bubble seems to be popping and stocks seem to be going back to the downside at the moment. But I'm gonna ignore that one for the watch list. Now, last but not least, we're just gonna quickly add in some of the large cap names that I love taking a look at: Tesla, Meta, Google, Amazon. I actually don't have any more GOOGL shorts with my platform anymore, so I'm going to chart GOOG instead of GOOGL, just because I have GOOG free shorts. Tesla, Meta, Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. We already have Nvidia up there. QQQ, SPY, IWM, and DIA, UVXY slash UVXY slash VXX. Okay, so that is basically the watch list that I'm going to keep an eye out for. Let's start with, like I said, no names that I really care about that reported earnings today. Let's start with HTZ. Pretty much, you know, it's a red day today, yes, compared to where it closed on Thursday. But, you know, I would say this is a bullish move. I was expecting the stock to bounce from $7, but it actually bounced from around $6.50, which is, you know, last Thursday high. sorry, Thursday low, bounce from Thursday low, so showing you that buyers are still willing to step in and show you that they are willing to defend this name, and they actually rallied it all the way back above Thursday VWAP, so that was fairly bullish if you ask me. Still looking to see if the stock can give us some opportunities continued in the next few days, but with the weakness in the market, it'll be obviously a little bit of a question mark over here to see if the strength is still going to be there, if the market keeps on dying out and pushing lower and pushing lower, pushing lower. Hertz Global, I thought this was a car rental company. This was not a car rental company. It is. Okay. Okay. It is car rental. It says finance and rental and leasing and so on. I was like, what? You rent cars? Like, let's call it what it is. I guess because I don't know, whatever. You rent cars. You're not a finance company. Screw off. But Hertz, because of Pershing Square, because of Bill Ackman's investment, he said he's now owning what, 13% of Hertz, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. Oh, sorry, he bought 19.8% stake in Hertz. So I was wrong in that. And a 19.8% stake in Hertz to now see if he can change things in there. I guess usually that's what he does, right? Like, for example, Chipotle, he bought into Chipotle, he changed the company around, he appointed a new CEO for Chipotle, then CMG became great again, and now that CEO now works at Starbucks, right? So just like that, I think we'll see another opportunity in Hertz becoming great again. If I remember, also Hertz at one point delisted and then relisted back onto the stock market, and this was right after like COVID or right during COVID, if I remember correctly. Hertz was a relisted name during that time period, and it was just good memory of mine if that is true. Anyways, back from delisting, struggling a little bit, and now Pershing Square coming in and trying to revamp the business. And you can see when investors like big names like Bill Ackman, Pershing Square come into play, you obviously will have copycat investors coming in and buying up the positions too, to try and reap the benefits of when the stock actually does what people think it might do. However, for a day trade, basically watching today's levels, Thursday's levels, the hourly levels, go to the hourly chart and then throw up some of the markers for yourself into the pre-market areas, into the after-hour areas, into the regular trading hour areas also. The main area for me will be the news VWAP again, which is right around $7 and $7.30 or so. So as long as the stock shows me buying above that, I think I'm still interested to look long. Right now, you can see how the second half of the day, even though the market kept selling off, HTZ kept making a higher high, higher high, higher high. So somewhere above this area, whatever this area is, 750, 780, $8. I think staying above this little pocket of zone will be important for me to look for the long side tomorrow. So if we're fighting in this area tomorrow, I think looking for the long somewhere in this area for a possible breakthrough from here and higher would not be out of the realm, especially if the market has some sort of a reversal or a bounced back day tomorrow. My dog bit the shit out of me and my hand is hurting. Oh, bubble on my hand now. I don't know if I need to go get some stitches. Alright, I'm joking. I don't need stitches for sure. Hertz. So Hertz, like I said, looking for buyers to come in the upper end of this ranges tomorrow so we can take some good opportunities to the long side. BULL. I think, this stock has now sold off quite a bit and potentially could be an opportunity for the upside again tomorrow or in the next few days. I think investors will also be looking to buy this name. It's not Robinhood. It's not exactly Robinhood, but it's in the same realm. It doesn't do the same amount of money as Robinhood. I think it also I'm not sure if Webull actually has cryptocurrency. If you guys do have cryptocurrencies, um, maybe you guys can let me know, because I'm trying to think if they do. My buddies have used Webull before, but only for charting at the prop firm. My buddy has used Webull, but only for charting, like basically as a replacement for trade ID or trading view. But I can't remember if they were doing crypto with it or not. But yeah, overall, not really Robinhood in the sense of how much volume Robinhood does, and in the dollar volume, in the liquidity area, but still in the same realm, and investors would want to think about putting their money here also. But given how volatile the stock is, maybe that would also deter them away from looking into investing in this name. However, for a day trade, we just care about volume, and if there is any spikes and traps being laid again for the north side, and just ride the stock. Some short covering possibly, some possible traps again for us to get some short squeezes. So either of those opportunities, I'm looking to get long on Webull again. Besides that, no real plan. Volume has been dying down, and the interest on this name has also been sadly dying down. Purple for Hertz. AVGO, like the rest of the semiconductor sector, this one has been going to the south side today also. But I guess the main one is just Nvidia. Nvidia, as long as it stays below $100 tomorrow, is just a no-brainer short. So on any pop, Nvidia stays below 100. That's the major level for me. Is as long as shorting, caps lock is on, shorting any pop into 100 if stock cannot reclaim the level. So that is the reference level. That is the resistance level. Nice and even $100 area also. Happened to be kind of Thursday's close. Thursday's low, sorry. Thursday's low was 100.05. And then Wednesday's low was 100.45. So that 100 area just is such a significant price level at this point that if we reclaim it tomorrow, there is no shorts for me at all on Nvidia. But if we don't reclaim 100, it is a very, very, very easy short tomorrow for us to ride to the downside, no matter how low it goes, right? If it's gapping lower, I'm more interested to short the pops instead of looking to get long on the day, right? So let's see how Nvidia sets up. Let's see how the pre-market moves come into play, and where does the market go itself? I think the market actually might have bounced a little bit in the after hours. You can see a little bit of a tick up actually going into the close. So double bottom into the close, move into VWAP, and then trying to go back a little bit higher. Oh, that's a big volume candle. Trying to go back higher in the after hours. So hopefully the market gapped up. And then, if we do get a gap up, easier chance to go back down, in my opinion. And much, much easier to short stocks like Nvidia, because then we'll be closer to $100 area. And all you have to do is wait and see if $100 area is weak or strong, and then make your decisions from there on. Going to the next stock on the list, which is still a semiconductor, I guess AMD, but as I said, I'm more so focused on just the Nvidia at this moment. AMD has a similar pattern almost, but it's not exactly 100% similar, because Thursday and Wednesday's high were around $90. So instead of battling Thursdays and Wednesdays low, which is what Nvidia is going to do going into the $100 area, AMD might have to do that going into Wednesdays and Thursdays highs for me into the $90 area. So a little bit higher for me to look for the short on AMD. That's why the importance is more so on the big name itself of the sector mover, the sector in play stock. the one that's gotten the most love from the AI boom, right? The AI boom has given Nvidia so much love, and if Amazon's coming out and saying we're gonna have to potentially slow down some of our what's it called, spending on infrastructure, on servers, on AI spending. When Tesla and Google announced their reports this week, you want to make sure that they're still willing to spend the same amount of money that they were previously willing to spend on AI. Their capital expenditure still needs to be same or higher. If they lower their capital expenditure from what previously was expected from them, because they said they would do that, then that is basically, not good news for Nvidia. More downside to Nvidia if that ends up playing out that way. So you want to be a little careful if you are invested to the long side, because if capital expenditure conversations start changing, that could really start being bubbles popping in the AI sector a little bit. We had that scare during DeepSeek, because we realized that you didn't need that much computation power to train AIs apparently, but all of that kind of got muffled out and kind of, I guess, went nowhere at the end of the day. Anyways, another AI creator, but this is a Chinese AI creator, Gwen, if I remember correctly, is their AI. Baba, holding fairly well, still above the 200-day moving average, currently interacting with the 9-day moving average, and still below it, and the trend is still to the downside. Pinduoduo on the opposite side, which is, it's well below its 200-day moving average. It's currently getting rejected by a downside sloped 9-day moving average, and the more rejects we get from that 9-day moving average, I think the better chance we have for a possible move into this 87 areas and then a break below 87. Am I hearing birds chirping? Whoa, okay. Gotta love that. So looking for the 87 low breakdown over here on Pinduoduo, and for some opportunity for the short side. Let's see if that dream ever comes into play. That one I've been waiting for that one for a while. Another one that I've been waiting for a while is this Baidu breakdown, but I don't think this one's happening, so I'm not even gonna waste my time talking about that one. BX. Let's quickly talk about BX, because there could be actually something worthy to watch out for, because this seems like it's going to be a possible level, a multi-month level. This is coming from January of 2024. So 2024 lows basically coming into play at the moment. That is 2023. That's 2024. Each candle is 1 month's worth of information. And the stock is basically pushing into January 2021 lows, also pushing into the 50 period moving average, not the 50-day, 50 period moving average. So possible supports in this area, and getting below that would just mean more downside. So currently stock is at 120. That line is at 115. So not expecting it to go below 115 tomorrow, but if it does, that could potentially mean more fun on that name. But expecting 115 to hold on. Pullbacks could look to get long if buyers show up. 115 2024 lows. Okay. Baidu, talked about that one a little bit. FXI, let's take a look at this one. Where are you currently, FXI? Not really something that I trade, but something that I always like to keep an eye out for when I am trading the Chinese names, because you got to keep an eye out to see what FXI is doing. If it's below one of its key levels, then it might not be a short on the Chinese names, right? But if it is below one of its key levels, then looking short on the Chinese names might be the right idea. So for me, that key level right now is around $32. GLD. Let's take a look at this bad boy. My ideal price point to look short was that level right there. You can see how that pre-market low at 4 o'clock, right? The pre-market low at 302.77 got tested on Thursday during market hours around 10 o'clock or so, and then a complete reversal back up, and then overnight markets, long weekend, Easter holiday, a big gap up on the gold market into 315, a new all-time high. I mean, yeah, crazy. Not sure if this is considered overextended or not. Look, I'm not really a commodity trader at all. Is this even considered a commodity? Anyways, not really a gold trader or a silver trader, so I'm not sure how these instruments move. But this is kind of insane. So I was looking for, as I mentioned, the move below 302 to get short, but this gap up changes things a lot. At this point, maybe somewhere right here, you can see how that multi-hour low we had today, 1 2 3 4 hours in a row, we just kept holding above whatever that is 314. Yeah, basically 314, right? For 4 hours we just hold above 314. I think on the dip tomorrow, I don't want to see GLD below 314. If it is, then there might not be a long at all. So very careful tomorrow. That also happens to be today's low, actually. So if it does get below 314, there's just no more shorts to no more longs on GLD. Today's VWAP will be interesting. Would love to see if we can get a dip buy opportunity into today's VWAP, which is around 315. So dip buy into 315 and you're risking 314. You're risking $1 for a chance to see if the gold train keeps on choo-chooing to the upside. So if that ends up being an opportunity on the dip tomorrow, I'll gladly look to participate, but also looking to get ready to short this one on any weakness below 314. So keeping an eye on GLD. Another few stocks here that you could use to kind of express the short side in gold is the miners. So AEM and GFI are two of the names that are potentially worth keeping an eye out for. At least those are the ones I have on my watch list. And then GOLD, which is Barrick Gold, that's on New York market. GOLD, that's on the New York market. MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, Coinbase, they look fairly bullish. I mean, I cannot deny that Bitcoin does look bullish. So, you know, this is the chance where Dieter and Angry Buddha can come out and say, I told you so, Pratt, I told you so. And I will take my L and I'll move on. It's just not me. I am not a Bitcoin person. I don't understand Bitcoin. I think it's a sham. I think it's BS. But if money can be made, you know, nothing wrong with it. Go look for a range like this, and you know, that looks like a failed range low. That looks like a possible breakout back into previous supports, which is acting like a resistance at the moment, but possibly turning back into support. With gold keep on going higher and higher, Bitcoin should technically you know, follow gold, right? For a very long time, gold and Bitcoin were kind of tied together in a way. What was it? USD is kind of going to the downside. So with USD crashing, maybe that's more of a reason for people to look for Bitcoin to be a safe haven. Until Bitcoin actually becomes a universal currency where you can buy anything and everything, I'm not gonna care too much about it. But by then I might be too late. But thankfully I'm a day trader and not an investor, right? My ignorance will keep me bliss and away from Bitcoin for a very long time until I see the bad actors on Bitcoin staying away from Bitcoin, right? There's just way too many bad actors on it, and I just can't vibe with this sector. However, for day trade, there's so many opportunities for us to take advantage in. So IBIT, COIN, MSTR. If the coin keeps going higher, I'm going to look for a long on these names. You can see how MicroStrategy, surprisingly enough, very goddamn bullish, right? Holding above the 200-day moving average, going to the high side, and it's actually better than most of the large cap stocks. For example, MicroStrategy is currently technically more sound than Microsoft, Google, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia. What else is there? What am I missing? Did I say Apple? Meta. So it's basically better than all of those stocks on a technical chart because it's the only one above its 200-day moving average. So you can see how that one's a little bit of a wow. Palantir is also one of the stocks that's above its 200-day moving average. Anyways, talking about the AI sector earlier, the AI bubble possibly getting popped. If that is true, then Palantir getting below 90 and staying weak below 90 is possibly a trade opportunity for the short side. So that one I'm watching. VST, do you have any clean levels to trade off of? Not really clean levels, but the whole idea of AI bubble popping will obviously put this stock and sector in importance at the moment. So VST on watch also. Tesla moving right back into this nice little consolidation low, and if that breaks, ooh wee, that's party time. Still a little time left until we actually break that, but today was a downgrade from Barclays, I think, and tomorrow we have earnings report in the after hours, so that could potentially take it to the downside or right back to the high side. So Tesla will be on watch, but more so just to be patient and keep it ready for the next day, which is where the earnings report actually comes out. Meta has a pretty good level to keep an eye out for also. It's the under over 500 basically, but you also have today's low and also April's low. So today's low and last month's low, or not April, this is April, never mind. April and April 7th low and today's low area as a pocket to watch out if buyers can show up again. If buyers can't show up in that pocket, then there might be a good short to keep an eye out for right below 480 to 479 area here on META. So watching META. You could look long again, but you know me, I'm looking for free fall Friday every day. Amazon starting the downside news, kind of the bubble popper because of their chatter about cloud services and what was the chatter again exactly? Amazon, where is it? Halted some of their data center leasing, so not really a good catalyst over there. And Amazon pushing to the downside, going back into previous lows will be very interesting again. I was surprised to see the market and a lot of these stocks below last week's lows. I didn't think we would gap down that hard. So market gapping down below last week's lows was a little surprising to me, or gapping into last week's lows and then opening and then staying weak below last week's low. I guess that was a good opportunity right there to look for an opening range breakdown on the market and so on. But yeah, that was a little shocking. That clearly shows you that there's still lots of weakness and lots of fear. Let's quickly go check the fear and greed meter. Where is that? 22. Okay, not 17 and 4, which is what we saw not too long ago, but still fairly fearful in the market. I made some profits last week selling Zim puts. Shout out to Momo. Let's go. I like the last time TraderPrad tried a paper trade shorting Bitcoin, ended up getting stopped out on the short. Like this idea on Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't really like Bitcoin trades. Bitcoin sucks. The company, the whole idea sucks of Bitcoin. It's just way too easily scammable. I need more regulation in it, and I just don't agree with Bitcoin. Period. I don't agree with Bitcoin at all. It's just way too scammy, man. Just people and bad actors. I guess that's not Bitcoin though. That's kind of the cryptocurrency space. So maybe I shouldn't really blame Bitcoin for it because that's more what Solana and these pump fund kids and all these other garbage. There's actually a lot of good stuff about crypto too. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed these NFT horse races. That was kind of insane to see the technology behind it and the work that went behind that project. It sucks to see that project going to possibly die out and do absolutely jack nothing. I don't want to curse because my niece is probably sleeping, but it's good minds putting great work, but sadly, I don't think it's gonna lead to anything. I could be wrong. What do I know? I could be wrong. It could be the currency of the future, as everyone talks about, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it. For the most part, that is my watch list. We could continue talking about some of these names on the watch list, like Google, Microsoft, and so on. But the main ones are already highlighted and talked about. It's Nvidia, it's your AI names like Palantir, and it's your overall market. Market needs to be able to get back above last week's low for me. Not getting back above last week's low on any pops, which is around 437, 438. It's 437.76, so I'm going to round it up to 438. Today's high was 439, so basically 438 to 439. If QQQ is able to reclaim that tomorrow, I'm going to be a little scared for the short side. I'm going to stay away for the short side, but if the market does push back into that zone and show me resistance again, then I would gladly look to get short again for a move back into somewhere possibly today's lows. I see you guys talking about Powell quite a bit. What are you guys talking over here? Powell only has 3% to play with, and the clowns are raising tariffs 25% to 250%. That's 3% isn't going to do too much. I guess you guys are talking about inflation versus tarifflation. I mean, that's a whole different topic to dive into, and honestly, not even something worth putting. I guess that's really not the best way to think about it. I was gonna say it's not worth thinking about, but that's not the best answer because you need to be thinking about the macro, even if you're just a day trader like I am. If you are more than just a day trader, which most of you guys are, you swing trade, you invest and so on, then obviously you want to have these type of conversations. But for me as a day trade, I mean, I have to control what I can control, and I can't control most of these things. We're about to see a takeoff in 2 minutes. Most of these things we can't control anyway, so we have to play with the variables that the market gives us. If stocks are popping up, look for the ones that are popping up, look for the good technicals, and then see if the fundamentals are giving you an enlightenment to look for a good entry. Currently, we're in a bear market, so now it's actually the time to do nothing and stay in the sidelines and do absolutely zilch for your investments and for your swing trades. Cash is a best position at the moment. Wait for the bear market to die down. Wait for the larger cap stocks to actually start reclaiming its 200-day moving average. You might be seeing 3 to 6 months of possible bearish market, and then a very, very big boom in the bull market if Trump actually pulls off what he says he was trying to. But if he doesn't pull off what he's trying to pull off, then we might see a real big recession in the market really collapsing and things going to zero. Well, not not really zero, but things getting hurt. So there's a lot of ifs in the near future. Let them get answered. You don't have to be the first to the party, but make sure that you have money to show up to the party, right? Don't be the one to show up to the party first and then don't have any money. You can't buy any drinks. Then it's time for you to go home. You can't leave. You're stuck there in the party. That's basically bag holders. So you got to make sure that you're doing things right. So right now, not a swing traders market, not a buyer's market. It is a seller's market. So if you're a seller, look for pops to sell into and then enjoy the downside. But it is for sure a day trader's market. So current volatility, where's the VIX, for example? We have 12 seconds before takeoff over there. Let's go take a look at VIX real quick. VIX today going to a high of 35 and going back up. UVIXY, for example, 38. VXX, for example, at 76. Here is a takeoff in 10, 9. Perfect time, actually, because we're almost done talking about the market. And we get to see a quick little bandwagon 3 mission. What the heck is that? Bandwagon 3? What are they sending? I'm interested to see what they're actually sending up there. Any interesting payloads? Or is it just... it's possibly... I mean, this is not one of their... Falcon. This is like one of the more normal rockets that they usually send to send out Starlinks and then send out stuff into the space for NASA and so on. So this is probably a more scheduled actual mission than one of those flight test missions that I'm more interested to watch. But always fun to see SpaceX stuff, right? Always fun to see SpaceX stuff and their videos taken off or their rockets taken off. I want to see if we actually get to see the booster landing. That'd be pretty cool. Those are always fun to watch. Anyways, real quick, let's quickly talk about the IPO calendar and the econ calendar. See if anything exciting is popping up on either one of those. April refresh, and I don't think anything is in there for us for the rest of the month. Yeah, no IPO for the rest of the month, at least for now. We'll keep checking every day for sure. And here's your econ calendar. Econ calendar for tomorrow. We got FOMC member 9:30 a.m. Really, dude? All right. 2 a.m. 1 p.m. we got the 2-year auction, and then 2 o'clock we got Fed member Kashkari, and then 4:30 API crude oil stock inventory numbers coming out. So that is a pretty dead economic calendar, but you can see how Fed member at 9:30 and Fed member at 2 is not really fun over there. That's going to be possible moves based on their comments. And then the 2-year auction, usually it's a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year auctions that are more important, but 2-year, given the current volatility, possibly something to keep an eye on also. Roll call. Let's see if Trump calendar, it usually only shows you the calendar on the day of, so I don't know what Trump is going to do tomorrow. Trust me, if you knew, you'd be rich, right? So we don't know what Trump's going to be doing tomorrow, but make sure that you're checking these websites like Roll Call, and just type in Google Donald Trump schedule or White House schedule, and then you'll White House calendar, and you'll see exactly what all Trump has planned for that day, and you'll see if he's going live on media or if it's a press briefing and so on, and then you'll be able to tune in and see if that event moves the market. Usually those events kind of have been not moving the market as much at the moment, but at the start of the event they were moving the market a lot. So it feels like that edge is dying down. That news edge, that Trump edge that we had was a little bit saturated and possibly algoed out and dying out. But you still have those random tariffs and China and Hexet and Gasparino and what's the other guy's name? Not Hexet, but I can't remember the other guy's name. Anyways, you know, basically the other members of White House, they still tweet and they still moving the markets around for us. So always volatile, always fun to be a day trader in this environment. I wish you guys the best. It's time for me to call it a night. Watch this video and then possibly play some schedule one. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more action on the market. I don't really trade too much today, so nothing really to talk about on my trades. A slight red day, but not too much to worry about in my opinion. We are flat on the month now, so time to pony up and get back to a green side on the month. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. TraderPrad out. Peace. The watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here. Back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day. So let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.